first one was, we responded to a call at the Chevy's restaurant. A suspicious subject was in the parking lot. It appeared that he was trying to steal a vehicle. Upon our arrival, to make contact with the suspect, he fled, and in his haste to flee, he rammed 2 police vehicles. And he attempted to ram a 3rd police vehicle. So that's 3 aggravated assaults right there. That's how we categorize it. He fled the area. He did end up hitting a innocent motorist, resulting in injuries, and we did arrest the guy. We caught him.
Were any of our officers hurt?
No. No.
So that, and the aggravated assault doesn't come from hitting the vehicles, it comes from aiming the car towards the officers.
But the officers weren't hurt.
No, they got out of the
The officers were not physically hurt. This was a fairly traumatic experience for everybody involved with our officers. The 2 officers initially came in to the Chevy's lot, which is the auxiliary lot right behind the parking structure at 1900 Powell, which only has 1 entrance and exit. They positioned their cars, but they saw the truck that was the reported vehicle coming in, but they didn't see that it was occupied. They positioned their cars, got out of their cars, and as they started to check the area, the truck started up, pulled out, rammed our first car, backed up, rammed the second car, backed up, and went east or southbound over the blind and median strip, where he took on some bushes and part of a tree, drove out and around 2200 Powell, trying to escape, and then out the Tower Access Road to Powell Street, where he went eastbound in the westbound lanes. And the third officer that he tried to ram was coming westbound at that time, had to take evasive action to get into, to avoid being collided with, to get into the, and went into the Shell station. The driver then went back onto the westbound or eastbound lanes, the proper eastbound power lanes, at a high rate of speed. We have 1 officer that was fairly well behind him, and as he was coming up to Christie, the suspect vehicle was cresting the ramp at the overcrossing and headed down. That's how far behind we were. The officer did put on his emergency equipment to clear the intersections, but he wasn't close enough to initiate a pursuit or start calling pursuit. As he crested the Powell Street overpass, he witnessed the collision with the innocent party where it was rammed. The suspect vehicle careened off and into the construction area at Powell and Hollis there, where he was taken into custody. When I say nobody was physically harmed, our officers were all concerned because the third party, innocent party, the passenger in that car, they did not at that point expect her to live. Fortunately, she's a fighter, and she's starting to a long recovery, and it appears that she'll be okay. The driver of the car had a broken arm. A couple things about this that I'm very proud of our officers for. One of them is probably in about 90% of the police departments in California, that 18-year-old suspect would have been killed immediately when he rammed the cars. And I spoke with both of the officers at that point, and I asked them, why didn't you shoot? And they both said, I was not at that point threatened. He was trying to get away. I was nowhere near the cars. I did not feel a threat, which is the definition of the use of deadly force. And I'm very proud of them for doing it, because there isn't a DA in California or in the country that would say, no, this was justified and everything was fine. But our office, getting into that area where they have made that type of decision. Very few officers in a career get to do that. And it's a pretty traumatic incident. The commander was proactive, brought in some mental health counselors to talk to the shifts and everything else, and we're still having a few residuals with the officer that witnessed the collision. He's still shaken with it. When I talked to him that morning, he was in shock just about. He says, "I've never seen anything that bad, never seen anything that bad." So we have no physical injuries, but we still have some aftermath on it. And the good news is the passenger in that car is going to recover. So.
And what caused this 18-year-old behavior?
We don't
Just
know.
poor judgment?
He's an
We don't
18-year-old.
know. Okay.
Yeah, he's an 18-year-old.
Wow.
That's a start.
Play
Poor
committee-
judgment's a start.
Play committee game.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, exactly.
And, yeah, no,
It's a little different in the real world.
it was a pretty traumatic incident for everybody. Fire did a great job extricating the victim.
Did you have to use the jaws of life?
Yes.
Whoa,
Oh, yeah.
bad accident.
Well, we don't know how fast he was going as he entered the intersection and the innocent car was coming southbound on the green as the intersection and got hit. So we don't know how fast he was going, but the impact was pretty major. The officer that witnessed it says it got pushed eastbound on Powell Street for a considerable amount of distance before it craned off.
Well, good job.
And, yeah, unfortunately, we didn't realize that the suspect's arm was broken when we handcuffed him.
What are the implications of that?
No.
Okay, go
Karma,
ahead, Adrian.
karma is the implication.
All right.
Okay, and the other significant